Hey everybody, Day Trader Rockstar here with you, and a fast little review video on futures today. I mean, what a great trading opportunity you have out there. For those out there learning trading here with Day Trading Radio, myself, Day Trader Rockstar, you know what we do. I mean, if you've been part of the site for any amount of time, I think I get the vision across there, how you can do this and how you can be successful at doing this. But it requires tremendous amount of discipline and patience. But as you can see, as I walk you through the markets each and every day, we have these setups. These are certain setups I want to show you that you must take. Every single time we go back and review and say that's a must take one, we don't find ones that say, oh, that's a must take, and it breaks down. Because they don't break down. And it's up to you to be in front of that market. I'm going to try to do as best I can to give you the alerts and make sure you're in front of these, because they're worth so much. Think of it that way. This is what I love. Being able to identify this setup right here for you. And once we identify this setup, it's usually a huge move. Now, so much to go into. I'm so excited about trading and seeing these setups, but understand how difficult it is for the trader who's just starting off to kind of get on board. One thing we like to do is get people starting off on a prop account or a valuation account where they could actually get all the tools for trading, get their feed, get an evaluation account, get being able to use some of the tools here at Day Trading Radio. So there is a coupon right now. We talked about it throughout. This is the prop account coupon. It expires tonight. That's why I'm kind of throwing it out there. This is like one of the best coupons. It gives you 90% off. The 50, all the option one accounts, really good. So a 25K account is only $14.50. 50K account is $17.50. I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of a prop account, but it's kind of an evaluation simulation account that if you qualify, you get a real account. There's no risk on your side. That's an easy way of talking about it, and it kind of teaches you good money management. It teaches you, not to waste your own money. Don't learn this using your own money because there's a steep, expensive learning curve when it comes to trading. It requires, and I always do this, and this is so important. When you think of greatness, if you're going to be great at something, the markets are, the center of the universe, basically. Money makes the world go around, and the stock market is like the center of the business universe and companies and stuff. It just all comes to making money. And you expect a regular layman just to walk into the markets, and over time you invest. It's easier, over time the market. But to come in like we do intraday, kind of make money as our business, as our job, as our day job, to making money in the markets. All right, so that's what I'm teaching, and that can be done. But everything has to be a set of rules. And the rules are defined for you, and you have to be able to apply those rules and wait for those rules to set up. And if they're not there, do not overtrade. And that's all I harp about it all day. Don't overtrade. Don't take the shot. Don't gamble. Don't get into a habit of gambling. So important to not get into that habit. And I know it's so hard, and I'm a hypocrite too sometimes when I say that, because we all want to gamble. We all want to have a shot. So I'm not saying that don't do that, but just understand there's a big difference between being successful and going back to what is a successful person, a successful person in their field. What does that look like? Well, let's think about it. Let's think about it. Who's a success? Let's say that you wanted to be someone really good in the market. You could get up in the morning, go trade and make money and just live your life and travel all over the world and just do what you want to do. Wow, that's a great plan. You can probably do that these days with internet and everything. You can effectively travel all around and do whatever you want and set up shop and trade around the world. That was always my dream growing up, and that when I had my dreams of where I wanted to go with day trading. But I did that. I traveled to Spain, I went to France, England. I traded in all those countries using the internet cafes and stuff. It was something. But at that time, that was still going through the 2000s and stuff. It was really a different time frame. I didn't use the techniques that I use today. I didn't know those back then. This is a 25-year journey that has gotten me down to the most simple, basic setups that work more than they don't work. And when it comes to the markets, there's no guaranteed path. But what we're doing, and we're being an expert, we're waiting for our pitch. We're waiting for our cards to be dealt, that we have a good hand before we bet. Everything that you apply to be a successful trader or a successful anything, if you're going to be a successful baseball player, how many baseball players become the best, like go pro? Not many. Not maybe you might know one that grew up in a kid and you heard he went, but honestly, top of the top, right? And to be an expert at something like that requires tremendous discipline from when you're a kid all the way up through the field, just going through so much in camps and hitting and learning baseball and focus on it. And it's so much a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice for anybody who's going to be great at what they do and they want to be the best. They want the recognition of being the best. You're going to have to put the time in. You're not going to be able to just walk into the markets and think that you just take money out of the markets. But I've shown you how to do that, and I could still show you. I could show everyone, and I kind of started doing this because I do a lot of coaching. And, and I kind of start off saying, you know what? Most likely you're going to fail if you don't pay attention to what I'm going to tell you. And if you're going to go try to find your own way, you're going to eventually come back, or you're going to, you're just not going to have the discipline. Trading is not for everyone. It's not. Some people won't have that discipline in them. But once you start to see it work over and over again, you will develop that discipline. You'll become patient. You will become, and we can see that in our room. I see that in my trading room. I see people that are qualifying every day, and the main comment is, John, I've been here just a month and I'm already qualified. I've been trading for over a year and I've never done this. And he goes, and most of it revolves back to not over trading. Over trading is the number one cause of failure. And over trading is basically taking a trade that does not fit the criteria of the 3 trades I give you. And why are you going to just take the 3 trades I give you? Because we know they work, and all it takes is time for it to set up. I'll look at them right now. This one works. This is a textbook divergence right here at 130. You had a low, and it was right on the VWAP too. I mean, this thing was so good, we could have, put the kids' education and let it ride with a stop at the lows right here, or stop at the low. I would never suggest that, but this is a type of setup you can't, and you have to give it time to grow too. You have to let this thing go. So anyway, that's a textbook divergence, and we did take that. I think I had that. Let me take a look here. Now, I've been trying to really push the Zello alert, not the Zello, the Voxer alerts. It is a lot on my plate to do this, and with the copy trading, I'm supposed to try to get going again. You guys got to give me one more just this weekend to get that. I really want to do the copy trading. Now I'm just focused on making $100, $300 a day on my accounts. And it's happening very easy. It's not a big issue, and I'm not even trading that much. And I'm only using MES 3 to 5 contracts and averaging $200 to $300 a day. Just trading maybe 7 to 8 times, and that works for me because what I try to get people to do is qualify on a 25 or 50K account, and that just over time, just making $200 to $300. There's no risk. You're not going to blow up. You're not going to trade the ES. ES, you get on the wrong side, you're down $300, $400 right away. 2 trades, 3 trades, you're blowing up. And once you're down so much, you're like, oh, now I'm going to start gambling. See, that whole thing just adds to, you have to be out of the gate extremely the best you could be out of the gate. Except no less. If you want to be successful at this, and I know you want to be successful at it, you have to be a maniac when it comes to a psycho when it comes to trading, in a good way, in a way that you're just so compulsive that you have to just wait for your setup and you have to apply the rules. Now the rules are clearer and clearer, and I'm working on these rules for you. And again, did I tell you guys that the thing ends tonight? I want to get this video out before it ends because I definitely highly recommend people starting off, and you want to learn how to trade this style. Start off with the prop accounts. Don't risk your own money because you want to get through that. And the prop accounts, God, they're so cheap now. We took a prop account into the FOMC rate decision today. I made $450 just trading I think I was just trading 5 contracts on MES, and then I had a couple ES contracts. I just caught a few points, and it continued to move up. And sometimes you can gamble on those things. And we try to this Friday we have the jobs report, and that should be another opportunity for the prop accounts if you want to take a more risky trade. That's the only time I recommend doing that, and that's okay because the object is to get the funded account. And once you get the funded account, all you do is scale back into just taking HPS setups, and eventually you'll qualify and you'll be able to wire your money out. You can't rush this. You cannot rush it. I tell you this, I've been doing this, you cannot rush it. Let it show up. We know what they are. We know our 44 is undefeated, still. And I've been saying that for the last 3 months, and you're still here with me. And every day, there's a 44, there it goes, right here. Now this one actually didn't go too far. It did go. And again, when we get a divergence, to know our divergence worked out, there's what qualifies as a past, or not like a failed move, or a move that was successful. Well, when we have a divergence, we want to identify the channel that divergence is in. In this case, it's just a little channel. So we have a double bottom, higher low rotation divergence here. We're going to come out of the channel to the upside. And also, we're also going to concentrate on taking profits, or start taking profits on the first rotation. That came up here, and we usually square that out. So you get in here. This might give you, and the market's been giving us some action. So it's like this has been about almost 5 points here. So, I mean, not all the setups are going to give you 30 points. Not all the setups are going to, but if you apply the rules, and you apply the rules to get out, is even more important than getting in. Getting out is even more important. All right. If this is heading down, rule number, whatever you want to know, rule number. There's not many. I have like 7 rules. I'll write them down for you. The rule here is that 60-10 is pointing down or embedded. You sell every rotation of the 9-3 above 80. That's a simple rule. All you have to do is, all right, where's the, well, Johnny, I'm talking to myself and whatever person, well, Johnny, it looks like we have a high here, a lower high here, and it continues moving down. We're definitely in a downtrend, and we're down here under 30. So we're going to rotate this out, and we're going to make sure we selling every time. Well, now, once it starts moving back up, then we can actually consider changing that, changing the direction of our trade. But when this thing is down, you just want to take that rotation, sell zone, sell zone, sell zone. Here we had a great call. I forget who called. Maybe it was Jimmy who called this one. Jimmy, our Mantis drummer. Nice divergence here. It's kind of a slight rising divergence, but a slight lower. It kind of ripped over there. Right when it failed there, that was your short. And it dropped pretty hard. And we came right into a divergence here. This was what was so great about today, because we called this one too. And I was just talking about trying to get these alerts out. And I think this is so good. And everyone at Day Trading Radio has access to the Voxer alerts. All right. I didn't have too many, I guess, out today here. What time is 10:30? Yeah, I was busy today, just managing the market, so I didn't get as many out as I wanted. I did see there was a nice, let's take a look here. Right here at 10:26 right here, I sent down an alert for a bull flag, I believe. Let's take a listen for it.
All right, good morning, traders. First hour of the trade has gone by. We have a very extremely strong market today, so be very careful on the short side of things. We get our first rotation, 2020 bull flag that's happening right now off the 20,
right there.
55 here, 55. It's already popping here off of that. Just remember, our bull flags are very important on a trending day like this. If we're above 90 under 60-10 stochastic, you're looking for continued strength in the markets here.
All right, good job, Johnny. So again, I'm calling this out for you. I'm trying to get these trades out to you as you can get them on this alert system. Make sure you're signed up for that if you're a member, and if you're not a member, you can go get them on Patreon, patreon.com/daytradingradio. All right, I'll put the link in the thing. Really good. So that was a nice bull flag. Here we actually had a breakdown of the flag. But things start to break down. Once we start to see things start to break down, that's everything has to line up for us to take these trades. And the most important trade, of course, is this low. This was at 9:30 to 9:45. It was a low, and a lower low, and it was a low and a higher low. And you might not see it as much on the 9.3, but the 14.3 was a higher one. And right from there, we just took off. And I just want to show you something here overnight. I always do this during the day, so you could join the trading if you can during the day. But if you're not in front of your computers during the day, and you want these setups, the best thing is to get on the Future Trade Alert Network. That way, at least you'll get them sent to your phone, and you'll know that it's set up. And I'm trying to get out the quad rotation, and the quad rotations are great. If you're just simplify your trading. Don't ever take a short when you have a quad rotation to the downside. There's no reason to have a quad rotation to the downside right here. Typically, you're going to start to turn back up, and you could actually see this was the low here on that little pullback, and started to move back up like that, and then took off. But when you get down to that level and you see them all come down, you don't want to short. So you've just eliminated. You look at this and you say, no, why would I short here? This is a better balance. So if you're going to take a shot, you take a shot long there. A lot of things is trying to wonder why you would take. I think you're paying attention to certain things. Markets are not guaranteed to give us anything, but if we could identify when the market's going to give us a move in the direction of that we could predict, and it's going to be a bigger than average move, because we know how we predict those with our divergence. Look at this over here. This is a beautiful flag pullback. This is at like 9:30. What is it, about 9:45? It's a perfect flag, and it's a nice high divergence there on the 9.3 and the 14.3, and I remember that too. I think we were here for that last night, and I was out of the gate. And this is overnight, and this gives you some decent moves. This one from like 54.85 to about 54.91 to be realistic. I don't know if you're going to hold on, get that pop, and get out. I always say be realistic in your trading. As long as you're realistic in your trading, you're going to convince yourself to wait for these setups. When you have those setups, when we have that divergence there, when we have a divergence here, inside of a channel, that divergence 9 times out of 10, even more, 9.5 times out of 10, it's going to break out of the channel that you're in. So you start to see that start to turn back up. You should be in it inside the channel. You're going to start breaking out of the channel. You should probably start taking profits or moving your stop up. If this starts to turn up and you have a rotation, and this starts to rotate back up and you have a couple runners on there, give it more room. So that's what I do, always say. Start off with multiple contracts, maybe 5, 10 MES. First, get in. You get your first decent move, and your first rotation probably gets you up about 80. Be realistic, 82 maybe, and you're taking it off on that pop right there as we get over above 80. All right, or you're taking half off, and you might be moving your stop up to break even, and then you let the rest go. And then, as you can see, this is starting to turn back up. So now you could probably just kind of like even sit back down, maybe followed up with a looser stop. Eventually, it'll probably come back and get you. But at one point, you're going to see this divergence up here. And once you see the divergence there, and you have a divergence, a buy signal here, and then you have a divergence sell signal there. What do we call that? You know it. And I hear you saying it on your side. What do we call that? We call that bookend divergences. Bookends. So it's usually a pattern. It's usually a channel, which you could probably put in there, or maybe even a little wedge pattern, just like that. And you start off with a divergence and you end with a divergence. And it's usually a bookend. I call it bookends divergences. And that happens a lot. Here's one down at the bottom here. You know why? Because divergences identify the pivots. And those pivots are super, that's what we go to work for, to find those pivots. The pivot is moving from one direction to another. So if I go in this chart, where do you want to be in? Well, I want to be in short here. I want to be in long here. All right, give me some other places. Well, I want to be long here. Probably want to be short here. And we know how to find those levels. We know that a quad rotation, sell side, is probably up there, closer to where that sell signal is. So we're going to surround ourselves with all these absolutely fantastic, data-driven, backed-up, experienced setups here, especially the divergence, the coil, the flag, and just we're going to wait for perfect conditions. And when those perfect conditions come up, we have a 44, you step up with some size with your own accounts or your prop accounts, where you step up with the MES. Instead of the MES, you step up with the ES, and you qualify. And you do that over and over again. Once you get comfortable and your discipline improves, you have to, you just have to put the time in. And I know everyone wants to automate stuff, and they want to use the Rockbot to do that. The Rockbot's good, but I wouldn't run it overnight because it needs to adjust to the parameters. And if the market has some news on it or it's in a very bullish trend, you don't want to go short that. And if it's a downward trending market and you have a buy divergence, you probably want to take it off on the rotation. So that's actually something I'm working on. And a new thing on the bot is to take it off early on a rotation, which is going to be great. So that's it. I wanted just to kind of just show you the setups were there today, and they were beautiful. And all you have to do is wait for them. And if you didn't, that's okay, because now you get to review them again, and you start to see what you're missing. And patience is going to play off. And if you don't have the patience, well, just stick with us. We'll find in the setups. All right. Another nice divergence right here, of course, 940 that we talked about. Oh, I just love the divergences. And the flags and the divergences and the divergence inside of a pullback. That is so powerful. So powerful. All right. Well, that's it on a review for today. Don't forget the coupon ends. I probably wasn't even showing you some of the stochastics, but coupon ends tonight. Go get them. You can get up to a bunch of them. I definitely recommend it because the recurring, it's a lifetime recurring. That means, it's 1450, 1750, 2150, depending on what account size you want. It's pretty cheap. So I'll let you go on that. All right, I got to get going. I got a little coaching session to start here, and we'll get the site back up for you. Hope you enjoyed that little review of today's markets. The Fed jobs report's coming out on Friday. I am going to duck out of here Friday. I want to duck out. My family's going down to the beach. I want to go down with them. So we're going to take an early week. But the show will be on. I'll try to kick things off, and but I won't be on the mic too much. But I'll see you guys tomorrow, all right? So in case you have to, I always feel bad taking a day off, but Friday's going to be a tough one. It's going to be jobs report. I love jobs report, trading the prop account into it. Anyway, I'll get this on its way. I'll see you guys in the markets.